सुमर श्री गणेश,
प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश,
प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश।
गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश,
गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश,
गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश, प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश,
प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश।
गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश, प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश। लंबोदर भुज विशाल,
लंबोदर भुज विशाल,
लंबोदर भुज विशाल,
लंबोदर भुज विशाल।
कर त्रिशूल चंद्रभाल,
कर त्रिशूल चंद्रभाल,
लंबोदर भुज विशाल, कर त्रिशूल चंद्रभाल, शोभित जल पुष्पमाल,
शोभित दल पुष्पमाल।
रक्तवसन जाकुबेश,
रक्तवसन जाकुबेश,
प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश। Please join us on the chorus.
श्री गणेश।
गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश, गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश, प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश,
प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश।
गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश, प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश। पूरण गुण गण निधान,
पूरण गुण गण निधान,
पूरण गुण गण निधान,
पूरण गुण गण निधान।
सुर मुनि यश करत गान,
सुर मुनि यश करत गान,
पूरण गुण गण निधान, सुर मुनि यश करत गान, ब्रह्मानंद चरण ध्यान,
ब्रह्मानंद चरण ध्यान।
विघ्न हरो गजनरेश,
विघ्न हरो गजनरेश,
प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश,
प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश।
गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश,
गौरी सुत प्रिय महेश,
प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश, प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश, प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश, प्रथम सुमर श्री गणेश। हरि ओम।
हरिः ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम। ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Hari Om. My name is Sanjay Padaki. I'm one of the volunteers here at Chinmay Mission, and I'd like to welcome all of you to this event. And good evening, good afternoon. I think there are some people joining in via Zoom from California, and as well as early good morning to those of you who are joining us from India. So we joined the mission, Geeta and myself joined the mission here at about 2007. And after a couple of years, I was talking to Dwarkaji, and he gave me this very easy, simple model, which I call it the Dr. D model. How many of you heard of Dr. D model? But it's actually a very simple decision tree model, right? So it says, if anytime you face an issue in life, you have two options. Is it about money? Or is it about something else? And if it's about money, don't worry about it. That's Dwarkaji's favorite phrase. If it is about something else, again, two choices. Can you do something about it, or can you not do anything about it? If you can do something about it, just do it. If you can't do something about it, then give it to Hanumanji and let him solve the problem. Give it to him, right? So thinking back, I was not here in the country at this time, but about 30, 40 years ago, if you can imagine the newly arrived Indian immigrant person here, there were a lot of amenities that we take for granted here today that were not in existence, things to connect us back to the culture back in India. And so Dwarkaji, as he said, this is an issue, and I can do something about it. So Dwarkaji and Shashiji, in their basement 35 years ago, started Chinmay Mission Boston with the Balavihar program. And it's grown into what we see here today. And in true Dwarkaji's visionary spirit, he thought about this center as a place where we can have religious, spiritual, as well as cultural activities under one roof. And I think I definitely won't be able to rattle off the 10 things if you talk to Dwarkaji, and that's why we have him here in the fireside chat. He's got 10 things that that the center covers. Balavihar, obviously, language classes, cultural classes, community center, and you can see all that in this beautiful building that we have today, which didn't exist 35 years ago. So what a vision, right? And just if you think that all his life has just been about the mission, that's not true, because he also started the pain management center at Lowell General, which is also quite a big endeavor in its own right. So, but I'm going to just focus on the Chinmay Mission aspects of things here. His vision here, for all these years that he served as the president of the mission, it has positively impacted thousands and thousands of people, especially children, and that's amazing contribution to the society. And I can keep talking about all the things, but I think we want to hear from him. So I will invite him up to stage in just a second. But before that, we want to hear a couple of messages. First one is by Guruji, Pujya Swami Tejamananda, and I'll let our AV team cue it.
Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. That day in man's life is great when he discovers a great altar of devotion and dedication which transforms his life completely. I am so happy that this our devoted couple, Dr. Dwarka and Dr. Shashi, they discovered that in our Param Puja Gurudev Swami Chinmayanji Maharaj, and then their dedication not only just established the Chinmay Mission Boston Center, but it expanded so beautifully and it is growing and growing successfully. That is their outer achievement. But in their own professional life, they have succeeded. And the most important, this devotion and dedication have brought out that inner transformation of spiritual growth and happiness. I am very glad that our members of Chinmay Mission Boston are honoring them for their dedicated this life. I wish this function a great success, and also I invoke God's grace and Puja Gurudev's blessings on Dr. Dwarka and Shashi and their whole family for all peace, prosperity and happiness. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
Next, we'll hear from Swami Surupananda ji. He is our current head of Chinmay Mission.
Hari Om Dwarakanath ji and Shashi ji, I'm delighted to be with you, even though it's online, at this special occasion where everybody is meeting to express their feelings, their gratitude and appreciation to your 35 years of dedicated seva, inspired by Gurudev and his great lofty vision. With your dedication, you have built the center in Boston, and over the years, your contribution to the Chinmay Mission and through the Chinmay Mission to the people around you has been incredible and great. I wish you all the best, and I know your seva will continue till every breath. Gurudev's blessings have been on you in abundance and continue to be on you. And in every breath, surrender to him. And he is there to constantly lead us to him. Hari Om.
And finally, Swami Shantananda ji, who's the president of the Tri-County chapters, as well as president of the board of Chinmay Mission West.
Hari Om. Dwarakanath ji is known to me from 93 onwards. He was my best friend, very dear to me, and initial stages before having this center, I visited many times Boston, and I always enjoyed his hospitality and the expert cuisine. Not only that, Dwarak is a very great devotee of Gurudev. His love for Gurudev is expressed in action in that building. Chinmaya Maruti is a living example, in fact, standing example for his love expressed in action for Gurudev. He wanted to build the best center for Gurudev. That was his dream. And no matter how much money he spent, he did not worry about it. It came to him, and today you see a monument built as a symbol of his love. I'm very grateful that I know him and Shashi in my life. My best wishes. He is not going anywhere. He is, his life is mission. So even if he retire from the board, he'll be with all of you, serving Gurudev until his last breath. My best wishes for him. And Hari Om. Thank you.
The other person who's going to conduct the fireside chat needs very little introduction. It's Dr. Deshpande. And he's a serial entrepreneur, but more importantly, through his foundation, he's started so many philanthropic causes, contributes generously to all of them, and has been one of our early benefactors to this mission. So I invite both Dwarkaji and Deshji up on the stage. And while they're doing that, does everybody have a cell phone? Please find it. Please take it out. Take it out. Take it out. Find the settings button and please put yourself on mute. You can take a picture if you want. Thank you.
So, Doc, is it okay not to have the mask?
Yeah, I'm triple vaxxed. So.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, we have a short time. We have about 30 minutes to talk about the last 35 years and maybe get a glimpse of the next 35 years. But it's amazing what's happened in the last 35 years in terms of building this institution. And none of this would have happened without each one of you playing a very important role. But none of this would have happened without this very special couple, which has always been there, these are the two people who brought us all together, which has changed our lives, right? And so all of this journey started a long time ago, 35 years ago, 1989. I know it's hard to believe that Dwarka was young once upon a time, but just to remind our memory, we'll see what Dwarka looked like when he was younger. So he still had some hair. But actually, the journey of Chinmaya Boston started long before that, 20 years before that. 1969 is when Gurudev landed. He came first time to the United States and he landed in Boston. And he did his yatna here. And that's when the center actually sort of got started. And there were 16 members of that mission, of which 2 of them, Dilip Mathur and Ranganath, have played a very important role in continuing this tradition and continuing to build even today. So their association has been for almost 55 years. But 89 is when Shashi and Dwarka got very involved with the center.
Yes.
So Dwarka, what caused it? What inspired you?
Well, first of all, I'm really overwhelmed that so many people are here, and I love people, and they're showing their love to me, which I'm very grateful to all of you and to Gurudev. My first involvement with Chinmaya Mission was in 1986, when I visited a camp with my children, and obviously Shashi was not a member, neither was she interested at that time. So she didn't actually come to the camp. So I said, that's okay, and I took my children. I had a great time. I met Gurudev, and he was extremely gracious to me. And after that, I went to one more camp. Then I was asked by the Central Chinmaya Mission if I would host Swami Chinmayananda in my house. I think the only reason he chose me was because he had health conditions and he wanted to be in a doctor's house. So, so I was ecstatic. I mean, somebody like that coming to my house, and I went crazy cleaning the house, everything. I think Shashi may tell more about it. But most importantly, when he came, um, there was so much energy in the house and no sleep, and I felt so energized. And I was talking to Gurudev, as we call him Gurudev, and we said, I was giving him little things. I was joking with him and saying I want to have a center, and talked about it. I got this plan. I want to build a meditation hall, but he just nodded his head and didn't say anything. Then the second time, he himself wanted to come and stay with me. That was in '92, by which time Shashi actually had started Balavihar, and with a small group of people, 9 or 10 people, and it was going very well. And many of the people here, their children are all part of it, like Raghunath, Vijay Kumar, and so many of them. And they're all grown up, and my own children, their children are going to Balavihar now. So it very heartwarming. I think during that time, he was extremely gracious to me and did some incredible thing. One of the things when I saw the video, when I was prostrating to him, he just passed his hand on my back. I said, "Oh my God!" So those kind of things just stayed in my mind forever. And we had a camp in Endicott College, and at that time, during the banquet, all I did was driving everywhere he wanted to go to MIT. I was his driver. So
This was during his second visit, right?
Second visit.
92.
And during that visit, he at the end of the banquet, he did say, under the leadership of Dwarakanath, Chinmaya Mission, Boston will grow. And I was not even a member. So, because the membership was the 16 people, as the Desh mentioned. But I thought he made a mistake. And of course, Swami Tejamayanda said, no, he doesn't make mistakes. So it's your job to actually make it happen. So that was the starting point. And I love doing things, whether solving little problems. And when I say, oh, this is a big task, I better do my absolute best to make it happen. So the rest is history. So
Gurudev is a very good recruiter.
yeah. Well, he's done this to many of the. I'm not the only one, but he has done this to so many centers and inspired and found people to start the center and run the Balavihar programs and all. So I'm just blessed.
From 92, we used to have the Balvihar program in Bedford and so on. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the program. And we'll have Shashi join us for that part of it. But what happened next? What were the next big events that happened in construction of this building and everything else?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think we were quite content having Balavihar. We did it in Swaminarayan Temple for some time. We grew out of it. Then we went to Bedford. Then it increased to 75 families. And then even that was getting saturated. And the question arose, should we build a center? So we were under the firm conviction, no, we are not going to build a center. That's too much headache. Of course, we had the Vijay Kumar's family and Mala Umapati, Shashi and myself. So we had a lot of discussions about it. And we kind of decided running a center is too much of commitment for the whole community. So we decided to go and meet Swami Tejamayanda. At that time, we went there saying, we were not really ready to build a center. So we wanted to say that. And we went, actually visited him and told him, we're quite happy the way we are. And Swami Tejamananda said, well, I'll ask you two questions. Actually, three questions. One, he said, well, after you go, after your time is done, you want the center to die. Nothing happens. Number two, this community you're building up, you want it just to disappear. And number three, all this education you're giving to the children, should it come to a stop? Go outside, think for 5 minutes and come back. So we went outside. He said, yeah, it makes sense. This should not stop. Then we didn't take 5 minutes. We took probably a minute and went back to him and said, Swamiji, you're right, we're going to build a center. And these are all divine people. They have divine vision. He said, go, it'll happen. And when he came back, we were energized, and we came home, and I talked to the few families we had, and there were people saying, oh, it should be a 5-year plan, and we should first find a land, and then we should decide where to build it. So in the next 5 to 8 years, we should build this. I was telling myself, I wanted it yesterday, so 5 years is too long. But fortunately, things fell. I believe in Gurudev's grace. I mean, to me, he's none other than God. He made things happen so fast, because this happened in July. In August, I got a call that there was a place which has not been sold for 2 years. It's in Andover. It can only be sold to a non-profit organization.
Yes, this place, right? Dwarka? This place.
Yes.
And which year was that?
That was in year 2000. Because we went here we saw the place. This place was actually in 1999. 99 when I saw the building, they wanted like 550,000, and I looked at it. It was on Route 28, 93, 495. I said, there could be a better place. So I did take my checkbook, and I didn't tell Shashi. Nobody knew. but I gave a deposit and said, I'm buying it, right?
That's not the only thing you did without telling Shashi, right?
Yeah.
Today you can confess.
So after that, I brought all the team, and they were all very happy. They were supportive. Then obviously the board of the Andover board said, if you're going to have a new building, you have to demolish this building. There could be asbestos, things like that. And they said, you have to start the building, and you have to have elaborate plans to do this. So we were not deterred by that. We said, okay, if that's what is needed, we'll do. And this, I will take just less than a minute. So that evening, we had a meeting in my house, and I clearly remember there was Vijay Kumar and Jyoti, Mala Umapati, and Shashi and myself. And they were so supportive, and all together we all made a pledge of $100,000, so that we're going to give it to the center. So we felt so encouraged. We got $100,000 now. Next, I went to Ashwini Singhal, and we didn't have a plan. We just had a vision. And he said, I'll give you 100,000. So 200,000. So I said, then came our master. So I went to him. That was again an incredible story, how I went to his house that day. And he said he would give 500,000. So
Dwarka, but I told Jayashree.
So I was so energized because we were approaching $1 million. So $1 million, even now it's a lot of money, but in 1999 it was a huge money. But that encouragement, God, then I started talking to people. Obviously, some things happened in 2001, 9/11, the dot-com burst, and some of the pledges vanished. But still, we made enough money And then we decided to build the center in three phases because we didn't have the money started drying up. So we built the first phase in 2003, and that cost us like about $3 million. And by which time the center started growing, and we already had 400 children, and there was no place. And I think one day Desh came with Jayashree and they saw people sitting in the corridor. He said, "Why are they sitting here?" I said, "There's no classrooms. We only had three classrooms, and we are using whatever place there was." Then he called me home. He said, "All right, Jayashree and I have decided to give $1 million." I said, "Oh God!" So then I started going to other people, and soon raised money. And I was in good terms with the bank. So then this whole building plan was approved, and I spent a lot of time with it. And so by 2009, we decided not to build three phases. We built the entire phase. So in 2009, this became a reality, and it's still by 2017 it was overflowing, and I'm looking around to see where else can I add more classrooms. So at its peak we had 700. Before pandemic we had 700 people a part of the mission, and many families. Interestingly, there's a letter from Gurudev in 93. He said, 93 January, 93 August, he attended Mahasamadhi. He said, once you get 100 families, your center will become a reality. Another 30 seconds. In 1992, he wrote a letter to one of his big devotees saying, Dwarakanath has elaborate plans for Chinmaya mission. He would build a center in Andover. This is before we thought we would build a center. And God is great, this will happen. This letter we only saw in 2009. So that's what I mean, this divine intervention. I truly believe once you really surrender to Hanumanji and Gurudev, no problem is insurmountable. So I think the growth of Bolivia was incredible. I think I'm not fit to talk about it at this point, and at an appropriate time you can decide whether Shashi can comment.
No, thank you. Thank you, Dwarka. Dwarka has done a lot of things. But in addition to that, he's sort of touched each one of us in ways. He's always looking for ways to sort of help out and be a part of everyone's life. So there's a lot of different ways that he's touched all of us, but it's so nice to sort of get a full picture of everything that went on and how he's always stuck to his mission. But, even though Dwarka claimed that he got an earlier start than Shashi has gotten way ahead of him. Right, Dwarka?
No question.
So why don't we invite Shashi? Shashi, come up here.
It's a classic hare and tortoise race, so she was the hare and I was the tortoise there.
So, I think the Gurudev wanted to make all this philosophy, everything else practical, useful for everybody. And Shashi has taken the lead in developing a lot of spiritual programs for both young and the old. So tell us a little bit about your journey, how we got started, and where are we today?
Come such a long way. It's been beautiful. And when I was young, I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. And, went into medicine. And somehow I think, yes, I was not interested in Chinmaya Mission in 86, did not want to do anything with spirituality. I thought I was too young for that, I'm confessing. And in 89, when Gurudev came to our house, I was not completely sold out on the idea of Chinmaya Mission. But I did start the classes for children because I felt there was a need for it. I felt my children had to do it, and I know that Desh's kids were also part of it. And about 15 kids started there. Then in 90, it's just kept growing, and people had to just call me and say, "Do you want to start a Bal Vihar in our area?" And I was ready. So 91, I went started in Lata Sainath's house in Burlington in the morning, classes in the evening in our house. And then on 92, I started in Nashua, and on one Friday, and the other Friday I would go to Shrewsbury. And so there was no stopping. I don't know. There was an energy after Swamiji came in 92. I felt like I'd got some type of a force pushing me to do more and more of this, and I never tired. And one thing I have to tell you, I was a practicing physician. Usually a pathologist doesn't get any calls, but when I was working at Lawrence General Hospital, I was doing nuclear medicine where I'd be called for emergencies in the night as well, for various scans and things. And I have to tell you, through all those years of running to Shrewsbury, running to Nashua, going to Burlington, and then Bedford, I would never get called till my class was done. I'm not exaggerating. So in a way, I feel so it's all his hand in that, because it was busy, my job was busy, but never got called. Anyway, so this was going on, and by the time we moved to Bedford in 92, when Gurudev came to our house, this was the second time, he told me, he said, "Your house is very nice, very welcoming. I see that there's a welcome mat even in the bathroom door, so I know that you open your house for people." So
We still have that welcome mat.
So he said, "You should take the classes out of your house if it has to grow." So that's the time we consolidated the Burlington, not the Nashua, and the Andover classes to Bedford. And when we came here in 2003, when there were 75 families, we were actually 100, because the Bedford Burlington group, as well as the Nashua group, we all moved to this Andover center here. And so many things come back when you ask all these things, but can I show something which actually I feel? Can I show that, Ravi, which probably Gurudev saw in Dwarka to make him the president of Chinmaya Mission? Because, he didn't say it properly. In 1989, we were not connected with the mission in any way. I mean, we were asked to give Bhiksha to Gurudev, and then next thing, his family was all here, about, his 6 other siblings and their family and their children. So we thought it would be great just to go to the camp and hang out there, no need to cook, but we'll all be together. Let's do that, he said. So that's the reason we went to the Endicott camp, actually. And at that time, they asked Dwarka, "Will you be the chauffeur for Swamiji? Because he's frail, and can you drive him from the meditation hall to the lecture hall?" And Dwarka loved that job. So he said, "Fine." And I was, not really into the mission at that time. And when they announced that he was going to be the president, I said, "Dwarakanath? President of Chinmaya Mission?" I mean, I can remember my feeling at that time, even so distinctly. But I did get a video later on, which I looked at. This had happened. In 89, Swamiji had come, when I said he was at home, his parents did Paduka Puja for him, Padu Puja. And after that was over, all of us, it's very customary, you go, give your Guru Dakshina in an envelope and take blessings from Swamiji. So we all went one by one, and Dwarka swears that the first picture is the reason he thinks he became Chinmaya Mission president. Can we just have that? Can you see it? Actually, we might have to turn off the lights, I think.
Yeah.
No, this, I would definitely show the second one.
If you turn off the lights a little.
So there's Swamiji. And now, Dwarka and I come take his blessings. So Dwarka says that's the reason, the touch. But I'll tell you something, and you watch out. And all of you will feel very familiar with this. Can we have the second one? and these are people handing out envelopes, and Swamiji is just keeping it next to his side. Look what he does. There he walks. It's somebody else's, he puts his and then looks at somebody else's envelope. Familiar to all of you, every one of you. Swamiji decided that's my fundraiser, okay?
Well, there was a time people run away when they saw me, you know. But as I said, they would get into the bathroom. I would wait outside the bathroom till they came out, and I say, "Hey, I wanted to talk to you." So I think
His own family's check. See, he's trying to see the amount they've given. Can you believe that? And in front of Swami, just right under his nose. I can't believe it. Anyway, so that's how, my Balvihar journey started like that. And I think it went on for how many years? Till 2013, when I asked Swami Tejo Manji, I said, I've done this Vedanta study for so long, and I just feel like I've not just got it in me, and I want to dedicate some time. So he said, bring your husband. I need to have a conversation with you. This is a big decision if you have to leave and go to India. And so the next morning, we sit with Swamiji, and then Swamiji says, okay, tell what you want to say. And I said, I want to go to India for 2 years. Dwarka's first remark was, your hospital? I think it'll be terrible because you established a department, you're a chief. I said, I'll find some way to deal with that. Then he said, your grandchildren, they'll miss you. I said, 2 years will go in no time. It'll be fine. Then he said, I think I'll miss you.
But he did not say, I'll come with you?
No way. So I felt, now I was a little, I couldn't say anything. But, immediately he said, no. If somebody wants to do something on the spiritual path, and if I stop them, it's actually a sin. Go ahead. That was it. That was it. And so, I've had the experience of Sandipini, and, it has been wonderful. He's been a great support in every way. You all know his nature. Always wanting to do, if you tell him you can't do something, that's it. That'll be the next thing. So I'd never tell him you cannot do anything, okay? It'll mean work for me and work for him as well.
So Shashi, you didn't see him when you were away for a year, but it's amazing how much he grew here. So.
Are you serious?
I grew in one way, but I lost more hair. No, I think if you don't mind, I'll take the fireside chat for a second. What was the? Give me some numbers, because there was a period when people always give these numbers, 700 and all. How many children and families did we have at its peak before the pandemic?
Definitely about 700 children, 750 children were participating in the 4 chapters that we have. Yeah. It was, I'm sure it'll come back.
Yeah. Well,
tell them about the teachers, Shashi, please. That without the teachers, Balvihar, all
the volunteers, what do you say? You just see everything happens here because of volunteers. We don't have to say anything. Each one takes their responsibility so sincerely and lovingly. That's the secret. I think they do it with so much love that it has to be beautiful, anything that comes out of this work here. So it's all Gurudev's grace. And we are deeply indebted to each one of our family here.
It's Gurudev's grace, and I think a big credit to both of you. Most of the founders of institutions, founders of companies, they have a very difficult time letting go and developing the next generation of leaders and so on. And both of you have done an amazing job. How many teachers do we have now?
Actually, you know what? I've handed over my responsibilities to Padmini. And, Sumana, Padmini, Maha, and, Nagarajan, they're all in charge of the various chapters. So Padmini might give me an idea as to how many Balvihar teachers we have.
This year, we have about 50. Right.
Here, that's in Andover.
But all over, we probably have about 80, right? I think 80 is the number I'd heard. So, yeah.
More than
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And language teachers as well.
Yeah. So it's almost like, and if you include all the other volunteers and the board members and both young and people who have been with the organization for a very long time. For example, SAS has been active in building this thing forever, right? But it's amazing how these two have been able to pull so many people in and empower them. And today is a very significant day because not only are they empowering, but they're saying, we want to get somebody else to lead it. I mean, Dwarka is not going anywhere. Dwarka is going to be here, right? Dwarka? So, but I think it's very important, So the whole infrastructure got built, a lot of the programs got built, a lot of the next leadership got built. But even more than that, the community got built. I think a lot of us would not have known each other if it wasn't for Chinmaya Mission. Building community is all about sharing each other's joys and sorrows, celebrating the success of the younger people. And that's what builds the community together. And we now have a beautiful community, and all of that credit goes to both of these two. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Just a couple of things. I think in the beginning, there was, of course, we all make mistakes. I like solving problems. For me, if I get a problem, if somebody says it cannot be done, I'd like to do it. But I was kind of micromanaging because of my enthusiasm and nothing else. That was. But then, with the guidance of Desh, he said, no, if you want it to grow, you have to let go. You have to give it to others, and they can all vouch for it. I don't interfere in any of those actions, and they're all self-driven, and they do a much better job than I did when I was micromanaging. So I learned a lot. So there are a lot more people. Is Anil coming to talk?
Sure.
Is he coming?
No, you can mention. I think it's Dwarka has led it, and building anything doesn't matter whether it's a company, institution, or whatever. These are all big financial things too, because this building alone is $8 million plus 20 years of operation, almost $500,000 a piece. So it's almost like $20-30 million operation, which is a fairly large operation for nonprofit. And Dwarka was able to do it mostly because most of the people here provided that safety net, right? They said, we are there for you, Dwarka, go do it, right?
I think they need a big round of applause.
So Dwarka, talk about some of the trials and tribulations and how you got help from so many of them.
Sorry, I missed the
all the roller coaster ride that you went through.
Yeah.
And how so many of the people here helped you get through those times.
Actually, many of these people were actually supporting me more than money. They would come and pump me up a little and say, we should do that, and that helped me a lot. And after some time, the fundraising became easy because they would actually come and tell me November of each month, hey, I'm going to give you this much, right? So me going and asking them has really changed to almost negligible. But they are all given me good counsel, I turn to Vijay Kumar if I need good counsel, so he always gives me. But some people like with whom I actually telephone call or meet regularly is Anil Singhal. And so I'd like Anil Singhal to come and say something if you don't mind, because he's been incredible support. And I don't know, this auditorium we are sitting is donated by Anil Singles. Okay. And the family. I should say single family, not Anil Single.
Yeah.
Anil.
No. Well, Dwarka, what's amazing about Dwarka is that he's always after everybody's wallet. But people still like him, you know? So Dwarka, that's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah. I must have been a pickpocketer in my previous life.
And it all started with that looking at that envelope, you know?
So there are 3 or 4 small things I want to say. So I know Ajita and Sudhir are going to take it to the next level, but some of the visions I had is that this organization has to grow because there's already shortage of space. So I'd like to see this maybe in due course, when we get the money, enough money, maybe we should buy a couple of properties on either side and make it a really large 7-acre plot where we can have the more classrooms and more activities. So that's number one. And I'd really like to serve a lot more people than just in this catchment area. So I look forward to the support of all the members to see how we can expand and serve and give our love to more and more people. Then again, we are very financially stable, but I want to make sure that stability is sustained. So and build a much stronger leadership team. Leadership, it's very strong now, but there's nothing wrong in actually aspiring for a much stronger leadership. And I've been very fortunate in finding very young people to come on the board, and they've been bringing in various new ideas, and that has been extremely helpful with Sanjay Parki, Sudhir, Maha, and Anu, and all those people, brilliant people, bringing in not only their vision but their wallets.
No, it's amazing. Shashi, what do you think this institution needs to do in the next 35 years?
I definitely would like to make sure that our program gets strengthened, Bal Vihar program, because lately I think we have I think it's the pandemic which has sort of brought a little bit of slowdown here, but I feel the need for it will grow because I see that there are lots of youngsters now who are sort of seeking, not really knowing their roots, I think. And I think Chinmaya Mission will be the best place, I feel, especially now that I have grandchildren and I'm talking to my kids about what they see in the world, that there's a need for a place for youngsters to feel like this is home from where I can know my roots well and then bring it out into the society and serve the society with strength from within, because Vedanta is all about that. So I feel like need for a Vedanta for right from children, the young age is very important, and that Bal Vihar program will provide that, especially in our high school classes with introduction of Gita. I think that'll be one important thing that I think. The other thing is, already I've seen this happening. Ajita and her team have been very involved in community service. And I feel like this is a great opportunity for the mission to spread its wings some more into the local community, and more beautiful seva will happen from the Chinmaya mission as well. So education is going on, but I want that to grow. And the seva aspect, I think, good foundations being laid down. And maybe somebody will also think of going and doing the Vedanta course like what Venkat is doing and what I did, because I think then we just have our own people here continuing the work, which we can happily do. So that's another thing.
So one final thing to our audience, I'm really grateful you're all here showing your love. But if you ever get a chance, if somebody asks for your help, just think that God has chosen you to give that help, and you'll be able to help each and everyone more than they would have expected. I think helping another fellow human being, it's so satisfying if you solve their problems and help and be by them. So I think that is what Seva is all about. Thanks.
So, so to really get done everything that these two visionaries want us to do in the next 35 years, they want to make even more time. And that's why Shashi has developed the leadership team for a lot of the programs. And Dwarka has now developed a leadership team for operations, for running the center. And so I would love to introduce the next leadership team that is chosen. Ajita and Sudhir, do you want to come up on the stage? No, don't go away. Don't go away. Don't go away. Don't go away. We'll just share. Yeah. Well, we are supposed to be far away anyway, so they can use the microphone there. So.
Bring your own chair.
So Dwarka actually has been working on this for the last couple of years in terms of developing the next generation leadership and so on. So he's chosen Ajita to lead the organization as the president. Congratulations, Ajita. And Sudhir as the vice president. So before we talk to them, Dwarka, why did you pick these two? Why did you pick these two?
Well, with Ajita is a very, in a good way, very strong personality, which is very good. So I think she gets things done.
Are you saying she is pushy?
She's, to put it mildly. So I think Atul will. I think in a way she is better than me, like getting things done. If I want something's done yesterday, so she's like that. She wants to get things really fast, and she has a variety of interests, like helping people. To me, that's because Swami Chinmayananda always talked about seva. Seva was very important. And she has spread her wings so much. She is in seva. I don't want to spend too much time. Everybody knows in so many different organizations she's giving seva. I mean, she works for Akshay Patra, for schools, for homeless. She was instrumental in getting Red Cross people here for blood drive, and so much units of blood was collected. And with the pandemic, she got Lowell General connected with us, and I think she provided lunch every Monday. And so I think those are all things which are very dear to me. So with Sudhir is a brilliant guy. I don't know how many of you know. He's a chief strategist, managing about 2,800 people. So I said, we need a strategist here, so to help Ajita. So I think that combination, and they both are very, very aware of the financial requirements, and they're big supporters. So as they say, the three W's, they have the wealth, wisdom. She's ready to get her hands dirty and work. I mean, that's very unusual, rather than giving commands. And wealth and work, they have all the three. And I think they will do a phenomenal job. But you should give them the same love and support as you have shown me over the years.
So Dwarka, you learned well from Gurudev. You're also a very good recruiter. Congratulations. So Ajita and Sudhir, what do you want to get done, and how can everybody in this room help you? In what way can we all pitch in?
Um, we definitely have a wonderful building. We have facilities in different chapters, and we definitely want to grow the programs in such a way that not only our existing membership and the members come back to the mission, but grow in different dimensions. Now there are a lot of young youth who are coming to Boston area. We want to start programs which would kind of attract those young youth, maybe have workshops. There are quite a few multiracial marriages, and it'll be very nice to see those kind of couples also come in. Definitely, as they've mentioned, Seva can grow, Bal Vihar can definitely grow. There were nice pictures where the mandir area was full. It was so nice to see that, and those are all the aspects. We could have more bhajans and do bhakti. So different ideas, and we have to just keep on trying. And I'm sure it will appeal to a different crowd. Every activity appeals to a different crowd. So those are some different ways that we could foresee the next few years. So
I think you said it right. I think as they say, it takes a village, and there's no different here, right? It's an army actually. We serve as an army, and everybody pitches in. I think Shashiji was sort of breaking it down really well about the three types of contribution. There is the seva, the bhakti, and the jnana part, right? I think using those three, growing our programs, we have to do a better job, I think, or there's an opportunity to expand our visibility. With social media now, I think we probably need to up our game. I see how CCMT is doing tremendous job of reaching through online, right? And I think we have to capitalize on that. I think this year with the pandemic, we have learned that we can reach a lot more people very effectively. So I think those are some of the ideas.
Yeah.
But I want to say the idea man is right here, so I'm sure we'll get 1,000 ideas from Dwarakanath.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. I really want to congratulate both of you.
Thank you.
On behalf of all of you, can I just assure them that they have our support?
Thank you.
So we are with you. So I know we were given 30 minutes and we've used them all up. And we still have very interesting program going forward. So, but today is a special day for Jayashree. With all your help, I would like to give her a gift. Can we sing Janmadinam with them?
Yes.
Does anybody else share a birthday with Jayashree today? In the audience? No? Okay. Oh, what? Yeah.
There is
Please.
Janmadinamidam Aipriya Sakhe Shantanotu Te Sarvadamudam Pratayamahe Bhavashatayushi Ishvara Sada Tvamsha Rakshatu Punyakarmana Kirtimarjaya Jivanam Tava Bhavatu Sartakam Janmadinamidam Aipriya Sakhe Shantanotu Te Sarvadamudam Sarvadamudam. Happy birthday!
so. 1 second, Shashi. And it's also wedding anniversary coming. Anil and about.
Oh, is that right?
So we will sing the anniversaries.
Really?
Hey, first of all, Anil, you should have suggested that because I just added a lot of points to my account. You could have gotten some points too.
Vivahadinamidam bhavatu harshadam mangalam tata vanchakshemadam pratidinam navam prema vardhatam शतगुणं कुलं सदा हि मोदताम् लोकसेवया देवपूजनं गृहस्थजीवनं भवतु मोक्षदं भवतु मोक्षदम्. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. I just have to put on the next part of
Anu.
Anu.
No. No, it's okay.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
It's a traditional way of showing our appreciation, our respect and gratitude is through the honoring of using the shawl. And I'd like to request Sudhir to do that for Dwarkaji.
Thanks.
Okay. Can I go wrong? No.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We have a few more surprises, Dwarka. We'd like to invite Shashiji and Raghuji to come on stage. Sasji and Raghuji, I'm sorry, to come on stage to present an award to Dwarka. So this beautiful award reads as follows: 35 invaluable years to Gurudev and his mission. Thank you for your leadership, positivity, laughter, and love. You are forever etched in our hearts. Chinmaya Mission Boston family. I think as you all walked in, many of you saw the gift book. We'd like to invite Murli.
Very nice. Thank you so much.
We'd like to invite Murli and Vijay Kumar on stage. If you have not signed the book, please do so.
Yes.
Hariom, we have the picture book for messages. So if you haven't written your messages, we'll keep it there. And also we'll try to keep it for the people who couldn't make it. When they come in, they can sign it. Your messages for Dwarkaji and Shashi.
Metro West, I'd like to invite the Metro West volunteers to come up on stage.
Have 4 hands. Yeah. Yes.
New team.
Yes, Murli. I'd like to invite Murli Chari to come to this podium.
Can I go now?
Yeah, I think, yeah. Hari Om. My name is Murali Chari. I'm the secretary of Chinmaya Mission. I've been working with Dwarka for the last 22 years. So we have asked a lot of people to provide messages, short messages. So initially we'll start with the video messages we have received from people who've been associated with Chinmaya Mission Boston. So.
Hi, my name is Mala Umapati. I was here in the early days of Chinmaya Mission Boston. I moved to California 20 years ago. I wanted to talk about the formation and creation of Chinmaya Mission under the leadership of Shashi and Dwarka. Umapati and I met Shashi and Dwarka in 1987 when we moved to Andover. Shashi started teaching Balavihar in their basement for a few kids from the Andover families. The numbers grew and we moved to a rental facility in Bedford. Not long after, Gurudev visited Andover and encouraged Dwarka to start a center. From that point on, Dwarka had a single-minded focus on making this a reality. Around 1998, we bought this property in Andover. Next came the monumental and expensive task of building the current Chinmaya Mission we're all enjoying today. Now, almost 35 years later, Chinmaya Mission Boston is thriving with record membership and many satellite locations. Throughout these years, Shashi and Dwarka were focused on serving the community, growing the mission, and carrying out Gurudev's teachings and wishes. In the later years, as fundraising became an additional priority, Dwarka came up with very creative solutions to meet these challenges. At every hurdle we faced, they would always say, Gurudev will take us through this. And he did. We are all the beneficiaries of their passion, hard work, and dedication. They have been a pillar of support for my family, and for me personally, they will always be my guru, friend, and family for as long as I live. Thank you.
Hari Om. I'm Lata Sainath, a long-time volunteer of Chinmaya Mission Boston. My humble and unplanned beginning with Chinmaya Mission Boston started almost 30 years ago by running into Shashi ji accidentally. Even though my limited seva at CMB for years was mostly with Shashi ji for Bal Vihar, Dwarkaji's passion and vision were palpable in every aspect of the Chinmaya Mission Boston. We could feel his touch everywhere, whether it was a major fundraising function or selecting a mouth-watering food menu for an event, or deciding decorations and displays for the grand, peaceful and inviting look and feel of the center. Dwarkaji brought his resourcefulness, unparalleled classic taste and zeal combined with unique last-minute fun surprises too. Chinmaya Mission Boston has been fortunate to have a community leader, inspirer and a resourceful person like Dwarkaji as its president. His dedication and love for CMB is so huge that I do not think of the current organizational change as him stepping down or retiring. Gurudev is smiling and blessing Dwarkaji to actually step up to guide the tomorrow's leaders to take CMB to the next level. On this special occasion, I pray to Lord Hanuman and Pujya Gurudev to bless both Dwarkaji and Shashiji with many years of good health and energy to serve the community and guide the new leaders to see our CMB in its more glory at a new height. Now to our next leaders, Ajita and Sudhir. Yes, there will be some new and additional work for you, but I also think that you have been chosen by none other than Gurudev for your new roles to support your own spiritual journey and more importantly of your children. You are in great hands with Dwarkaji as your mentor. Please accept my very best wishes as you take CMB to the next unprecedented level. Thank you and Hari Om.
Hari Om Dwarka. Thanks to you and Shashi, generations of children are going to get a good start in life with Bal Vihar, including our grandchildren, Indira, who's 8, and Nirja, who is 5. The other day, Nirja barred my entry into her room, saying I needed a password. So I made several guesses. Finally, she said, "You give up, Nana?" I said, "I give up." She said, "The password is love." Well, your sacrifice, and which has included innumerable visitors to your home, you've opened your home, and some of these visitors were really high maintenance. You worked all hours. You've basically given your life to the mission, and you have added love to your sacrifice. And when you add love to sacrifice, it becomes a yagna. And Chinmaya Mission Boston is your grand yagna, where of course the password is love. If you were here, I would give you a hug, and I would remind you of what Gurudev said, which was that when Krishna sang the Gita to Arjuna, he was in the prime of his life, a young man of 85. So if you come to Florida, perhaps we can discuss the secrets of Vedanta relating to how to be young at any age. In sign language, the sign for I love you is this. In Vedantic sign language, we bring our hands together so there is no separation at the level of the heart, and we bow our heads in acknowledgement of divine presence, and we say namaste. So namaste to you, Dwarak, and namaste to my Chinmaya Mission Boston family.
Hello Dwarka and Shashi, congratulations. Worship Maruti every day. Pray for your good health and continued progress in your spiritual life. Thank you for bringing Chinmaya Mission into our life. Raju was instrumental and you continued the heritage, and blessed are we to have you in our lives. Thank you so much for all the innumerable camps you have done and you have hosted with so much love and generosity. Love you. Thank you.
Hari Om Dwarka. I want to thank you for having introduced me to Chinmaya Mission and all our family into this spiritual path. I cannot thank you enough for introducing me and leading me in this path, because you made it possible for me to sit at the feet of Puja Gurudev, do his Pada Puja and listen to his lectures on many occasions. I cannot forget all the wonderful camps you had arranged in so many different locations for our whole family to attend. I also want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to meet many great Swamijis, especially Swami Tejomayananda. Our parents will be so proud of you for all your achievements, especially Mom, who would lovingly call you as Dwarakanayaka. So may Puja Gurudev's blessings flow to you and your dear wife Shashikala, without whose humble support and dedication this would not have been possible. Hari Om, thank you.
Dear Dwarka, congratulations on you stepping down from the coveted position of being a board member of the Chinmaya Mission. Your contributions have been valuable and incredible. And I hope you'll be able to relax and enjoy now. Your vision for the center and how it has formed and blossomed over over so many years is beautiful to see. It has helped a lot of people, especially the youth, in shaping their lives, and your influence has been tremendous. Shashi ji has been a strong pillar of support during all your endeavors, and I'm very proud of both of you. So now I hope you can relax a bit more and take it easy and enjoy. You're good at enjoying. Take care, Dwarka.
Hari Om. Our association with Dwarkaji and Shashiji goes back to nearly 22 or more like 24 years. Both Shashiji and Dwarkaji have been guiding forces for Venkat and myself in our journey with Chinmaya Mission. We both were not raised with the mission as children, unfortunately, but we believe that we have grown as individuals tremendously under their guidance. They have inspired us both to participate, to engage ourselves and take the plunge as eagerly as they have. The way we look at Dwarkaji is someone pursuing the path of karma. He's always in the mission, he's doing things, he's guiding others to do the things, to fix things. He does not settle for mediocrity. On the other hand, Shashiji has pursued the path of jnana. In her initial work as the Bal Vihar coordinator, along with Lataji, and then after her return from Sandeepani as the spiritual leader and guide for all of us at the mission. In many ways, they both are emblematic of how a grihastha or a householder couple should lead their lives, and then go into vanaprastha with the elegance with which they have been able to do that. This is something that we aspire to learn from and hopefully follow when the moment arrives. Our humble gratitude to Dwarkaji and Shashiji for continuing to be a part of our lives and hope to do so for many, many more years to come. Hari Om.
So we have some people in person who will be giving us short messages. We'd like to keep it short so that we can finish it in time. So Dwarka mentioned trio of people who started discussions about Chinmaya Mission Boston. Mahala Umapati, Mr. Umapati, and Vijay Kumar and Dwarka. So I asked Vijay Kumar to come and give us a few messages. And then after that, I have Sumana Anand. After that, Nagarajan, Padmini, and then Anil and Abasing. Okay. Come.
Hari Om, it gives me great pleasure to talk about Dwarka. I know everybody talked about Chinmaya Mission, and I know Dwarka long before Chinmaya Mission was even a thought in my head. So I'll take you back to 40 years. They all talked about this inner transformation. I want to tell you something about what's inside this what was inside him before this inner transformation took place. So going back 40 years ago, the first time, I know we went to the same medical school, but I didn't know much about him when we were in medical school. But then when I was in England, I was single. And, one of my friends told me once that Shashi ji is performing Ganesh Chaturthi in her house. And, she has invited me, and would you want to come along with me? And then the attraction was that there will be good food. So I immediately jumped on the idea. We both went, and we used the local train to go there. I think he lived in Lewisham, Kent, in those days. And so we alight from the train, and Dwarka was there to pick us up, and he picked us up. And next thing we know, we didn't go straight to the house. And we were going through the back roads and by lanes of East London, looking at these little holes in the wall shops, and he drops off somewhere and then picks up something, and then he goes and picks up something else. And then when we dropped in the house, he said, "Do you want to drink coffee?" I said, "Yeah, well, in England in those days, they used to make instant coffee. That was what was available everywhere." And then this guy comes out with pure South Indian coffee that he has bought in this little store somewhere, and then he is making coffee for you. It was typical, authentic South Indian meter coffee. And then he had this mixture, I think, which went with the bisibela bath that Shashiji has prepared, and I still remember that. What it tells me is that Dwarka, before you all came to know about him, that what was inside him was this very typical maternal instinct, that he has this motherly love for people. He knows what you might like, and even before you express it,
he gives it to you, and he keeps giving it to you all the time. And that, to this day, he has continued that nature of him without any stop. And I know a lot of people talked about, he's looking at your wallet and he's doing all that stuff. But I can tell you this, that he wants your wallet because he knows what's good for you. And, and please, if you run into him in the hallway or anywhere, just check your pocket. If you are under his spell, you will definitely have donated something for Chinmaya Mission. But that is good. That is good for you. Thank you very much. Yeah, bye.
Hari Om Dwarkaji, Hari Om everyone. Dwarkaji, ever since we have known you, that's back in 2006, we always feel we have a very special place for you in our hearts. You are very unique, one in a million. And every time we think of you, in addition to a smile on our face, there are two things that come to our mind. One is cooking and serving, and the second is giving and asking.
So we all know that in Gita, Krishna expounds upon both food and giving in tamasic, rajasic, and sattvic way. But nowhere in Gita, I think Krishna talks about the art of asking. Dwarkaji, you are truly exceptional in the art of asking. And passionately and selflessly, you ask all of us to support Gurudev's work, both in terms of financial contributions, but also in dedicated service with the full love. And we are grateful to you to give us that. And I'm hoping that with a little bit more time, you can really write a book on the art of asking. So really looking forward to your book.
Thank you so much, Dwarkaji, for your tireless service, for this beautiful building that you have given us. And we hope to learn a lot from you. And also, we are very thankful for encouraging us and inspiring us to do our best in carrying out Gurudev's vision. Thank you so much.
Hari Om. Our association started in 2004, and that was one of the best, wonderful experiences we had in Chinmaya Mission, driving 50 miles from Shrewsbury. So I vividly remember one time while going back to Shrewsbury after attending Balavihar, I was telling her in the car, they are doing so much, Dwarkaji and Shashiji, and inspiring so many other members. So why don't we start in Shrewsbury? At that time, I didn't know that they were already existing in Shrewsbury. I said, no, we have to sacrifice our New Jersey fun trips and all the weekends we have to give up. I said, no, we should do at least 10% of what they should do. And since 2008, since we moved, and whatever the small role we could play, and that's because of you, really thank you. And our Grahastha life, which is a crucial part of the life, we were able to spend it meaningfully. And she didn't find time, I didn't find time to pick fight. So we had a less quarrelsome married life. Okay. And also our kids were 5 and 1 when we joined. Okay. And it was less stressful parentful life. We really thank you for that and great inspiration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dwarkaji.
Anil Ji Abaji.
Okay, good evening, everyone. And when we came, I asked, how long is the program? And people said, it'll be about an hour, and it's almost 2 hours now. So it's because people have so much to talk about Dwarka and Shashi. And I like to second everything which people have said on behalf of the single family. But my association, personal, with Dwarka and Shashi, especially with Dwarka, started in 2001. And I feel that he has this special skill and attribute which combines passion with compassion, which is a multiplying force. On top of that, he is a very skillful doctor. And I think that makes him an ultimate problem solver. And I know people have talked about it and he's like masterful. I call him for advice. We have people in our company who has called Dwarka, and Desh mentioned also that he comes up with this unique solution to all the problems, and he has, like I said, unique ability to do that, and that's why he is now not only the spiritual advisor, he is the food advisor, event advisor, and obviously medical advisor. I know when I met Dwarka, he was advising us. I didn't know him in 2001. And then I was still taking his advice last week about my father. Also about Shashi, I mean, Shashi is a right match for Dwarka in terms of passion and compassion. And I think a lot of people have said this wouldn't be possible without her support. Recently, about a year ago, we heard about somebody in India who both husband and wives has dedicated their life to public service. And so somebody was introducing them and telling us what they have done, and they say they are like a royal couple. So I like to say we have the royal couple among us with Shashi and Dwarka. And thanks for everything you have. Thanks for everything you have done, and thanks for setting an example for all of us.
I just want to wish you both all the best wishes, and Gurudev's blessings be with you always. Thank you.
I know we thought it's going to be an hour and a half program with so many people on to talk about Shashi and Dwarka. We were kind of prolonged a little bit, so we'll be talking pretty soon. I'll call Dinesh Patel to say a few words, if you would like to, and then after that, Raghunathji.
I can talk to more than what you've done, but give you a few things. You as a doctor for pain, your main goal was to relieve the pain and suffering, but that was body. But you have created something to relieve the pain and suffering for mind and spirit. So I know you for many, many years, but all I can say is that we enjoyed every bit of what you've done, and we'll continue to enjoy. Your body hasn't gone away. Your body may have gone away, but your spirit and mind and public service will continue. So wish you the best to you and your better half for doing all the good things you're doing. Shashikala, good luck to you. Thank you.
Hari Om. Like most of you, I also have had pleasure and privilege of working with Dwarak and knowing him for over last 35 years. Dwarakanath embodies many of the virtues that Bhagavan Sri Krishna extols in Bhagavad Gita. He is a Shraddhavan. He is Arjavan, straightforwardness, and his Dhriti, consistency of purpose and tenacity to stick to the chosen vision, and when obstacles are faced, to figure out ways of going around him. All that are very inspiring. To get this center to this stage, he had to, figuratively speaking, carry many mountains, cross oceans to get us here. And what a nice, glorious way of serving the community. No wonder our Guruji, Swami Tejomayananji, downstairs when just the first stage was completed, he was talking to a small group of us. Dwarka was not there, and he compared Dwarka to Hanuman. He affectionately said, Dwarak is our Hanuman. What more can be said? I will just add one thing. Dwarak did one other extraordinary thing also. Many years ago, he found time to get married. And because of that, we have the extraordinary gift of Shashiji. What a bonus. So with that, I wish both of them, may Gurudev's blessings be always with them, and all the best. So again, let's give them a huge applause. Thank you, Hari Om.
Thank you, everyone. So we have some open mic time, about 5 minutes to 10 minutes. So if anybody else wants to come and say a few words, not too long, but you are welcome to come. Come on over if you have a few. Yeah. Please, if other people want to talk, please stand behind the person and then you can come and have a few words.
Hari Om. I think in 2004, when Shashi was doing her puja, she was doing the puja, and we casually came to Chinmaya Mission. We did not know a lot of this Bhumi Puja and other things had already happened at that time. So that's when we really got connected. The only regret I had was, why didn't I know this mission before, you know? We spent a lot of time just wasting our time at that time. But one thing that I wanted to, a lot of things have been spoken. I really don't want to take too much time here. But I wanted to say one thing that Puja Gurudev stood for, to spread Gita. So they lived a Gita-ic life. And I was preparing for a talk that I wanted to do on Gita Jayanti day after tomorrow. And it was on Karma Yoga. Two people were true Karma Yogis given as examples. One was King Janaka, Sita's father, who selflessly worked. He worked selflessly. And then the other one was Mahatma Gandhi. I'm pretty sure future books will have Gopala Dwarakanath ji also as one of the Karma Yogis. The other thing that I wanted to say, in the 5th chapter, when Arjuna asks, how can you attain liberation? And Krishna says, Yat Sankir Vindyate, Ubhayorabi Vindyate Palam. He says, I don't have the exact words here, but he says, you can attain not only by Sankhya, but also by karma. So, it is rare to find in one house, both the Jnana Yogi and the Karma Yogi are there. And what a great example they have set for us. It's a great thing. I wanted to wish them, and I only have love and affection for them to give, nothing else, because I learned a lot of things from them silently, without having to count, and I wish them all the best. And it's a very great feeling that Dwarkaji will be there as a mentor. Just physically he has just transferred the position, but he's going to be there to help us and reach great heights. Thank you very much. Hari Om.
Hi everyone, good evening. If you know that which is good, you know Dwaraka and Shashi. I suppose, address them as Dr. Dwarakanath and Dr. Shashi. But in the Hindu culture, when something is very dear and something that you respect, you address it in the singular. You say, hey Amma, hey Ram, hey Gopala Dwaraka. So in that spirit, I'm addressing you as Shashi and Dwaraka. If you know that which is service, you know Dwaraka and Shashi. if you know that which is vision, that is the ability to see not just what's in front of you, but to see ahead and connect these two things up, you know Dwaraka and Shashi. And their work endures, and it's on all of us individually and collectively to carry that forward. And one thing about the message of Vedanta, the land from which we come, and then the motto of the United States, they kind of actually dovetail with each other. And in Vedanta it says there are many paths to truth, and the motto of the United States is E pluribus unum, unity in diversity. So let's take that and let's combine it with what we find here and serve with the example set forward by Dwaraka and Gopala. Thank you very much.
Hari Om, everyone, and Namaskar. You know, as a couple, he's a man of few words. I'm a woman of more words. And I'm sure all of you have been witness to that. You know, I'm always reminded of this poem, a line from Rubaiyat of Umar Khayyam, which says, "The moving finger writes, and having writ, moves on." So I believe somewhere in the journey that Shashi and Dwarkaji have taken, it was written in their life that this was meant to be. And if you see in Mahabharata, Dronacharya asked Arjuna, "Arjuna, what do you see?" The others, Duryodhana, Yudhishthira, everybody said, "We see the bird, we see the branch, we see the sky." And Arjuna said, "I see the eye of the bird." Dwarka saw the eye of Chinmaya Mission. And that goal, we have been, Shripad and I have been in that journey since 32 years. And we met Dwarka in 1984 at a concert by Jesudas. Little did we know that we would be traveling this journey, and we are very thankful and grateful to have been in that path with you, to have received the love of you both and your family, your children. And our children today exceptionally said, "Please give Dwarka and Shashi Auntie a big hug from us." So I convey from Abhishek and Pooja as well. And here is Shripad, and I wish you both great many years of good health, great service, and lots of love.
I just want to echo what she said. We got a lot of things from you, Dwarka and Shashi, and we thank you, and we wish you all the best in the future.
Hari Om. Preeti and I are delighted to be here, and just want to say, Shashiji and Dwarkaji, that we are not only, Preeti and I, everyone here is obviously very grateful to both of you for this wonderful effort, what you have done. But it's not only that you did it, you inspired everybody else around you to actually make it happen, which is the mark of a true leader for both of you. And second thing I want to say is, somebody mentioned here all the wonderful things, obviously Gita says, but there's no mention about art of asking. Actually, that's misunderstanding a bit. Arjuna is always asking. Shri Krishna is always answering. So when Arjuna asked all these questions in Gita, the answers were not for Arjuna alone. Those ones were millions of years to come for people to learn from them. So when you ask for something from other folks around here to chip in, at least that will last for generations. So this is the answer, and this is the art of asking that you learn from Arjuna, the inspiration that came from. So third thing I want to just say, one more thing. We are all on a journey at the end of the day. And the journey is not only for this life, the life that goes on. And it's an interesting journey that we are always on it until we are not. And when we are not, we are done, we never get back on again. So it's a one-way ticket, if you will. Once you get to the destination, it's done. So anybody who devotes, you, Shashiji, both, 32 years, 35 years of their lives, serving Sri Ram, Hanumanji, you're already on a journey which is accelerating towards the end goal. So as you're transferring from being the leadership role in here into your next phase, it's just a continuum of a journey. And it's just that the journey is going beautifully well. And what you've done, you've accelerated the journey. So we are all grateful for all what you have done. We are, always been blessed with your love and affection for us and for everybody else. So we're truly honored and privileged to have you had your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Come on.
Namaste. I would like to compliment both of you, not as an insider, but viewing you from, as Lokwani, we have been watching you build an incredible institution. And it's really interesting. We've been watching all the articles that we've been writing since now 20 years. And, sometimes we take it for granted, that these organizations have just been here, has just been built. But prior to your folks starting all of this, it was a little bit of a desert. There were a lot of things that were missing. And just like when we go back and, when we see the Tanjavur temple, today we are like, okay, Rajaraja Cholan just built it and we enjoy it. But somebody did it at that time. And I think that's what you have done. Like Rajaraja Cholan, you have built this beautiful, amazing organization that's not just a building, that is supporting all the wonderful Bal Vihar classes, but also as a dance teacher, I have to so thank you for building this wonderful auditorium where so many children have really had the opportunity to have their arangetrams. I have been honored to perform on this, and that was all possible only because of your hard work. And Dwarika ji, your biggest donation to this community is Shashi ji. So I just wanted to seriously, humbly thank you for that donation because, everybody was talking about your asking, but your giving is much larger. And I was going to say, we've been so honored. She's been running classes for the women with, specific idea of how Gita should affect our lives. And it has been a really tremendous opportunity for us to learn. And Ajita ji, maybe one of the new directions that I would love to ask you to take, Chinmaya, is to have those more women-focused groups so that, because Shashi ji has been translating that, how Lord Krishna is actually the beautiful women that we are. So we have been seeing that. So Dwarika ji, Shashi ji, God bless you. Thank you for being in our lives. And as the community, on behalf of the entire community, Mangalam Shubham, thank you. Thank you so much.
Like to echo the same. This morning, before I came here, I was going through Lokwani, and I think we have nearly 200 articles about all the work you have done, and which will probably be there for others to follow. So thank you so much, and we really appreciate what you have done for the community.
Hari Om. This is a message from Van Ranganath ji. He was not able to be here, but he wanted to communicate this on their behalf. I just want to make sure Dwarka ji is listening. Okay, I'll start again. So this is a message from Van Ranganath ji. He was not able to be here, but he wanted to communicate this. We are very sorry that we are not there personally on this occasion, but our hearts and thoughts are there. It is so gratifying to see that Dwarka ji and Shashi ji have dedicated their life selflessly to Chinmaya Mission Boston. We are so thankful to them, and our best wishes to Ajita ji and Sudhir ji. Hari Om.
We have a poem from Babu, Dwarka's younger brother. For the grace of the Lord Muse, blessed are we to see Chinmaya Maruti after years of ceaseless work and worship, Puja Gurudev's disciples ceaselessly duty, the work of Dwarakanath, Sashikala and devotees, a place of blessed grace befitting the Lord Muse, many a challenge surmounted, many a desire fulfilled, above all love and faith restored, unending prayers, song, dance, celebrations, feast and piety of every devotee, all for the Lord's muse, only his muse. Are we here in this his abode of grace, families, nations, and all people's place, a temple standing testament of his presence in this miraculous planet with sun, moon, starry heavens, all by his grace, all for his muse, only he knows thus his grace bestows. Hari Om, Om Tat Sat. With that, we finished all the messages. We have Anu to come carry it forward.
So, as we bring this evening to a close, I would like to make two comments, one in a lighter vein and the other hopefully a little deeper. So Anu Anaswamy is my name. I'm one of the Newton chapter volunteers. Srini and I have known Dwarka and Shashi since 1990 or so. They have been our mentor, our role models, and everything that you heard this evening, we've seen in one way or another over the past 30 years. He is most certainly a problem solver. So if there is some challenge, and he is up to the challenge, and this he demonstrated as late as a week ago when they came to our house, and our dosa tawa was not working properly. The dosa wouldn't rise up at all. He gave us a tip, and Dwarka, it worked. All you have to do is to take a potato and sort of rub it into the crevices, and after that, there'll be no problem. You'll get your dosas. So you see, this is not just one example. Every time that there's been an occasion like this, he solves the problem for us. Subhana mentioned he's 1 in a million. You know, I sort of parsed that a little bit more. You know, in our lives, we probably come across 100,000 people. And out of that, maybe we know 10,000 people a little bit more. And maybe with 1,000 people, we have a meaningful interaction. And 100, really, we get to know each other. But even among those 100, there are probably 10 people who make an impact on you. And Dwarka and Shashi have been two of those. They have made my Sundays into something that is incredibly meaningful and something that probably is going to have, like Ranjani and Anil pointed out, leave an everlasting impact. And for having created this, for creating not just this building, but all of the programs that countless generations are going to follow, thank you. So you all came to felicitate Dwarka. Please stay for Swaranjali, where we have some surprises. And I'd like to invite the Swaranjali team to come here. And with that, we close out the ceremony. There are some dinner boxes in the auditorium, in the community hall. So please take that on your way home.
Hari Om. So those who know Dwarka ji, he knows a lot of things, he loves a lot of things, and one of them is music. And obviously, Puja Gurudev and all his disciples also love music, so how can we not have music to end this wonderful, very, very memorable and nostalgic ceremony. To me, personally speaking, so everybody over here has been a wonderful example for us, to follow in their footsteps. So one quick anecdote about Dwarkaji that kind of sums up, hopefully, what everybody has been saying. Coming from India, I was always inhibiting myself, like, why would I do anything volunteering, or what should I do? I have no clue. Even in Bedford days, I know that I was very passive. Coming here, one of the second or third month over in this center, I'm standing in the lobby. Dwarkaji comes. He just looks around. There is some slippers out there in the front yard. He picks it up and then he puts it in that chappal's room. So that was one quick glance. I looked at it and I said, okay, this is what it should be. So that's it. So thank you so much. So let's have this particular song is also special because this is also coming from the CD that he released back in 2016 for Puja Gurudev's centenary over here. And then again, another thing which you don't know, that Sudhir is also a guitarist, and then he's also played guitar in this karaoke track along with us, singing into this one. All right, let's go with the Chinmaya song, please. Hello. Check. Shankara Sada Shiva Uma Maheshwara Deva Shiva Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya. Voices can be low for us here, but only music. Shankara Sadguru Sadashiva Chinmaya Sadguru Guru Deva Guru Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya. Shankara Sadguru Sadashiva Chinmaya Sadguru Guru Deva Kailasavasa Sadashiva Siddha Parivasa Guru Deva Shankara Sadguru Sadashiva Chinmaya Sadguru Guru Deva Advaita Data Shankara Deva Vedanta Sara Chinmaya Deva. Chinmaya Sadguru Sadashiva Chinmaya Sadguru Guru Deva Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya Namah Shivaya. Chinmaya Sadguru Sadashiva Chinmaya Sadguru Sadashiva Chinmaya Sadguru Sadashiva. quickly, this was composed by Satish Anantayar, who is currently in India, right? One of our other Chinmay Sevaks. And also, you could have noticed the fact that his idea was to equate Adi Deva's, Shiva's qualities along with Puja Gurudev's. So that was a wonderful contribution by Satish Anantayar. Let's move on to this one. This is going to the big request is and recommendation is for Dwarkaji and Shashi to be on your feet. So you cannot sit here for this one. So again, imagine me being a singer. We look at various theme-based shows and whatnot. But when Ajita said, "Hey, pick some song which is going to be like adequate or something that is dedicated to him," I'm like, a man with so many qualities, so many things he'll do, so many things he knows. What songs can we do? Even pick, So this is just a sample of what we think he has brought to this world. So I hope you enjoy, and then most importantly, Dwarkaji and Sheshiji, you need to be on your feet for this. All right, let's go. किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है। किसी की मुस्कुराहटों पे हो निसार, किसी का दर्द मिल सके तो ले उधार, किसी के वास्ते हो तेरे दिल में प्यार, जीना इसी का नाम है। Keep it up. माना अपनी जेब से फकीर है, फिर भी यारो दिल के हम अमीर हैं। माना अपनी जेब से फकीर है, फिर भी यारो दिल के हो अमीर हैं। मिटे जो प्यार के लिए वो जिंदगी, चले बहार के लिए वो जिंदगी, किसी को हो ना हो हमें तो एतबार, जीना इसी का नाम है। Keep it going, keep it going. Shashi ji, please, Bali. Come on, come on. Everybody. एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। दूजे के होठों को देकर अपने गीत, कोई निशानी छोड़ फिर दुनिया से ढोल। एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। ला 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 ला, एवरीबॉडी। ला 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 ला। Let's keep the tempo. अनहोनी पथ में कांटे लाख बिछाए, होनी तो फिर भी बिछड़ा यार मिलाए। अनहोनी पथ में कांटे लाख बिछाए, होनी तो फिर भी बिछड़ा यार मिलाए। ये दुल्हा ये दूरी दो पल की मजबूरी, फिर कोई दिल वाला कहे तो घबराए। तरम धारा जो बहती है मिलके रहती है, बहती धारा बन जा फिर दुनिया से डोल। एक दिन बिक जाएगा माटी के मोल, जग में रह जाएंगे प्यारे तेरे बोल। ला 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 एवरीबॉडी, ला 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 once more. La 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 la. Thank you, Hari Om. Thank you, Dwarka ji.
त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव, त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव, त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव, त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव देव। ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते, पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ ब्रह्मार्पणं ब्रह्महविः, ब्रह्माग्नौ ब्रह्मणाहुतं, ब्रह्मैव तेन गन्तव्यं ब्रह्मकर्म समाधिना।